You've all heard the expression, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. Well, finally, my ex is going to find out. In case you didn't see me on the news, I'll set the stage for you. It all started with Melody, what's her name, from the 6 o'clock news, who said, "That's right, Linda and Sanjay. I am standing here at the courthouse steps surrounded by thousands of rowdy hardliners of both sexes who have come from all over the country to protest for and against a case that has been delayed so many times everyone seems to have completely forgotten about it. A case now being called the trial of the century. And with me now are the two lawyers in the case." Then Melody turns to me and asks, "Could you remind us what this case is all about?" 42 years ago, I, on behalf of all women, filed a class action lawsuit against most men in America, including him. We are seeking $18 trillion in damages, plus pain and suffering for all the years of our lives that they've wasted when we should have had a wonderful life together. And finally, we women are going to get our day in court. Then Melody turns to my ex and asks, "Your response?" "Look, the 1,374,811 charges in the indictment are completely unfounded. My clients and I are totally innocent. And this case is an outrageous waste of the taxpayers' money." That just pissed me off even more, so I yanked the mic in my direction and said, "If men aren't guilty, ask him why he filed 121,332 motions over the years trying to prevent the women of America from getting a fair hearing." So then he yanked the mic in his direction and said, 8 million of the original defendants died, for crying out loud. And then there was the death of the 3 judges. So I ripped the mic out of Melody's hand and said, "If they aren't guilty, ask him why he tried to avoid a trial by settling out of court." Then my ex turns to me and says, "Come on, Steph. I'm sorry our marriage only lasted 3 months. Isn't it time to forgive and forget?" That just got me even madder. But getting all the men in America to take out all the women in America out to dinner and buy them flowers is too little too late. So I turned my back to him so he couldn't get the mic from me. But then he went on his tiptoes and started yelling over my shoulder. "But like half of the 6 million people watching this know that we men don't do half the things that women accuse us of doing." So I said to the 6 million people watching, "But ladies, finally, each and every one of them is going to have to take the stand and tell the truth about why they fell out of love with us. The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Starting with him." But then he tried to wrestle the mic away from me and said to the viewers, "Besides, each and every single one of her 138 million witnesses that she's going to call to the stand to support her case are unreliable. Everyone knows that girlfriends will say anything to support the plaintiff's case. They never thought us defendants were good enough to begin with." Then he got the mic and shouted, "And the testimonies from the 12 million of our best male buddies who are going to testify against us were all coerced by withholding sex." Well, I exploded. And if any woman out there wants to add all the men who have jilted them, cheated on them, or dumped them for no damn good reason to my list of defendants, go to www.menarescum.com. I'm sure you'll want to get a lot off your chest. But please, keep your depositions under 50,000 words. Then he said, "And besides, this case should have been tossed out years ago.
everyone has a statute of limitations. Everyone except for women.
And all of a sudden, way in the front, we heard a whole bunch of pops. And we turned to see what had just happened. Well, Melody took advantage of the situation, ripped the mic away from us, and said,
Linda and Sanjay, the police have just let loose a volley of tear gas, trying to prevent the hardliners of both sexes from kicking each other's asses because they were either agreeing with or booing at what the lawyer said.
So we all took out our handkerchiefs, covered our mouths and noses. Then Melody turned to us and asked,
And do you think you'll get a fair trial with this judge and jury? Hell no,
said my ex.
She's a woman, and a half man, half woman, all gay jury? Give me a break.
And I said, But she's a lesbian, and a butch to boot. How else are we going to get an unbiased jury? Well, by that time, we couldn't take the tear gas anymore, and we all got the hell out of there. So anyway, the trial starts next Monday. And of course, the first person I'm going to call to the stand is my ex. Now, do any of you women out there want me to subpoena your exes so they can cross-examine them on the stand to find out why they couldn't see how incredible their lives were with you? But she's a lesbian and a butch to boot.